Imagine you're on vacation and your buddy comes up to you and says, hey, I was just talking to a bunch of guys down at the dive shop. They've got a great dive going tomorrow, a great wall. Do you want to go? You sit there and you say, you know, I'm certified, but I haven't dove in about a year to 2 years. I don't even know if I could put my gear together. Wouldn't it be great if there was a video I could watch that would refresh my memory so I don't look like a fool when I go to the dive shop? Well, my name is Rob Garcia, and that's exactly what this video is. This video is going to go in to show you how to put your dive gear together and how to also go and inspect it. We'll be going over the tank, we'll be going over the buoyancy control device, and we'll be going over the regulator set. The knowledge you've received from this video, you'll be able to go into that pro shop and look like a pro. Now, word of warning, this is not a beginner video. We expect that you are certified, that you have actually touched this gear before, and you have dove outside of a classroom setting. If those three things apply to you, let's go ahead and start with the dive tank. First thing we want to do is we want to make sure there's no gouges, make sure there's no dents, make sure there's no holes. Listen in and make sure it's not leaking, and also make sure that it's been inspected within the last 5 years. Go ahead and check the cylinder valve, make sure it's clear of all debris, make sure there's an O-ring there, and also what we want to do is we want to crack it open a little bit. Smell the air, it should be odorless. The reason we do that is some dive shops, the compressors are so old, you'll actually end up with gasoline and diesel fumes inside your tank, and you don't want that during your dive. Once you've gone over the tank, you're going to go over the buoyancy control device. You're going to look it over, make sure it's clean, make sure there's no rot, make sure all the straps are good to go, they're not torn, they're not frayed, they're securely attached to the device. Check your inflation hose, make sure there's no dry rot on it, make sure the buttons work, make sure there's no crud or debris inside the holes. Check your release pulls, pull on them, make sure they're not stuck, there's no mud or anything else in there. And also go ahead and check your strap. Make sure the Velcro works, make sure your buckle works. Once your BC is good to go, what you're going to do is you're going to take the BC and you're going to put it on the tank. Now make sure that the cylinder valve opening is pointing towards the diver. Make sure they're pointing to the diver. Bring it over the top. And the rule is to make sure that the top of the BC matches the top of the cylinder. This way you're not banging your head against the cylinder while you're diving. Once that is good to go, go ahead and tighten up the strap as best as possible. As tight as possible. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close down the buckle. We should give it an extra bit of tightness. Now, to go ahead and make sure that it's securely affixed, what you're going to do is you're going to support the tank with one hand and you're going to lift up the system by the BC. Give it a couple of tugs. The strap should not move and you should be good to go. Now, once the BC is connected to the tank, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect our regulator set. First thing we're going to do is we're going to inspect the regulator set. We're going to remove the dust cover. We're going to make sure there's no debris where the first stage goes and connects to the cylinder head. Make sure that's good. Make sure that nut is tightened in there as well. We found that out earlier. Turn the knob. Make sure the knob's good to go. Make sure there's no other damage. And go ahead and check the hoses. Make sure they're securely fastened to the first stage. Make sure they're not dry rotted or torn anyway. Go ahead and check your devices. Check your regulators. Second stage regulators, to squeeze them, the purge valves, to make sure they're not sticking because they have mud or saliva in there. Go ahead and check your low pressure hose. Make sure there's no crud or debris in the bottom of it. And also check your gauge. Make sure the glass is good to go. It's not cracked and there's no other damage. If that is good to go, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take the regulator set and we're going to place it onto the tank. Now, make sure that your second stage regulators are on your right hand side, low pressure hose and gauge on your left hand side. You don't have to crank this down. When this pressurizes, that's actually going to go ahead and tighten up that whole system right there. All you got to do is just do it hand tight. Take your low pressure hose, bring it over the top, connect it to your inflator hose. Go ahead and tug on it and make sure it's good to go. Okay, now what's going to happen, we're going to go ahead and pressurize the system. We're going to hold the gauge away from us so just in case the glass breaks, we don't get any eye. We're also going to go ahead and take one of the regulators. We're going to press the purge valve. Make sure we don't super pressurize the system, and then we're going to open it up. Once you start hearing air coming out of that purge valve, you can go ahead and release the purge valve, open your cylinder all the way, and then give it a half a turn over. Once that is done, you check the gauge, should be 3,000 psi. Check your buoyancy control device by filling it up with air by pressing the button on the inflator hose. And then go ahead and check the release. Make sure air comes out. Okay, and there, we've gone ahead and we've put together the scuba gear. Do I have any questions?
Where do you find your certification for diving?
The question is, where do you find your certification number if you don't have it on you? If you go to www.patty.com and you go to look up student, if you enter your first name, your last name, and your birth date, you should be able to get your certification number and the level you're certified. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. If I have no other questions, go ahead and take a 5-minute break. And for administrative purposes, I'd like to introduce Gerald Brinson, like Chief Black, and Matt McCormick. Thank you very much.